going to be monsters and snakes?
No, no monster snakes. But I do hope to find a snake, especially a nice 10-foot long one. That would be nice.
Are we going to go deep, deep, deep underground in narrow spaces?
Yup. We're going to go downstairs, slide down some slides, climb up a waterfall, and hopefully see a snake or two.
Did you forget to subscribe?
Consider it a cave, not just a hole in the ground. Those 3 rules are that it has to have a zone of absolute darkness. There can be no natural light in that zone 24 hours of the day. It's got to be completely dark at every point. It's got to have a zone where a fully grown person can stand upright. The Canadian Caving Society has decided that a fully grown person is 6 feet tall. Yeah, I'm 4 inches short of being a fully grown person. And it has to be naturally formed. You can't just go to your backyard, dig a hole, and go, look, a cave. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. If you look up and down from where we're standing right now, you'll notice we are in the middle of an ancient dried up stream bed. The water used to flow down here. The thing about water is it takes the quickest, easiest pathway down anything. So as water is making its way down this stream, it'll find a crack in the rock that it can slowly start dissolving wider and wider and wider. And eventually, that crack is going to become so wide, all of the water can then flow down and through the rock rather than over the rock. That's how our caves are formed, by water finding a quicker, easier pathway through things. So what we have right behind you is a grike. A grike is a hole in the ground that does not conform to all of the rules of a cave. That's a naturally formed hole in the ground, but it doesn't have a zone of absolute darkness, and there is no zone of 6 feet tall. Generally, you want to bring a second source of light with you. Going dark in a cave, not fun if you don't mean to do it. Generally, you want to tell somebody where you're going and when you're going to be back, so that they know when to panic and call cave rescue for you. You're not put in any lights. What you're going to be seeing with, it's right on your head. So how you're going to keep yourself safe in here is by maintaining 3 points of contact at all times. That could be 2 feet and a hand, 2 hands and a foot. I generally advise against using your head as a point of contact. It does hurt a little bit. Do it if you have to. Do not use each other as points of contact. I'm not going to point out who's really bad at this rule, parents. Inside this cave, we're going to be coming across a lot of calcite. Calcite is made of a crystalline lattice network. It's crystals in a lattice network. When you so much as brush up against that crystal lattice network, you crush it. So anytime we're near calcite, I'll go, hey, this is calcite. Don't touch this, all right? Right now, we are in a zone of absolute darkness. There are 3 zones to a cave: the entrance zone, the twilight zone, and absolute darkness. So where we are right now, we can do a bit of a lights out session if everybody's comfortable with it. Your brain is not designed to be in absolute darkness. It's not made for it. After about 4 hours of being in absolute darkness, your brain is going to come to an unconscious decision. It's going to go, hey, I know why I can't see anything. I'm asleep. So after about 4 hours, your brain is going to start releasing the chemicals that induce dreams. And that's how you start hallucinating. Your eyes are going to keep trying to adjust and adjust and adjust, trying to find any and all natural light. After about half an hour of your eyes trying to adjust to absolute darkness, you would be able to see a lighter from 1 kilometer away. Now if you run your hand up and down in front of your eyes like you're giving yourself a wave, can you see a blurry gray outline of your hand? Well, you might be able to with the light, but... So, this absolute darkness, if you run your hand up and down in front of your eyes like you're giving yourself a wave, about 50% of people will be able to see something. It's called proprioception. Got nothing to do with your eyes and everything to do with your brain. It's your brain going, well, I know where my nerve endings are, so I should be able to create a mental map of where my hand is supposed to be. You're not actually seeing anything, because there is nothing to see down here. Place that gets just as dark as down here. Any ideas what that place is?
Underground?
Underground? We are underground.
The bottom of the Mariana Trench?
The bottom of the ocean. Correct. That is the zone of absolute darkness, but you don't have to go that deep. You only have to go to the abyssal zone, which I believe is a couple hundred nautical miles above the bottom of the Marianas Trench. Some people say space, but space actually has a lot of light in it, because the light from the stars, millions of light years away, has nothing to stop that light. So the light just keeps traveling in every direction for hundreds upon thousands of light years. And lower it, and lower it. Go a little more to the right, and lower it, and lower it. That's calcite. I told you not to touch calcite. I'm kidding. We call this the sacrifice room because this is calcite, but we sacrifice this calcite to your curiosity. I don't know about you, but when someone looks at me and says, don't touch this, I want to touch it a lot more. So we put this here to sate your curiosity. You can poke it, slap it, rub it, lick it if you have to. Get it out of your system. This is the only calcite I'll allow you to touch. Now, if you look up above you, right up there, we have drapery formation calcite. All right, and then moving our attention from the ceiling over to the wall over there. All of that up there. We call it moon milk because when humans first discovered it, they thought it was petrified moon rays. That is 40 to 80% liquid. That has the consistency of cream cheese. You could literally scrape that right off the wall. Now 500 years ago, the Germans found it. And they decided, hey, let's bottle this and sell it to our royals. Any idea what the royals did with it? What's the other one? If you're not drinking, you're eating. They would eat the calcite. They claimed it had anti-aging properties. It doesn't. Big surprise. Well, they discovered if I have a stomach ache and I eat the calcite, it'll cure my stomach ache. It's calcium carbonate. This calcite formation, this grows at 2 cubic centimeters every 100 years. This is a very old formation. If you look up, it goes all the way up there, then takes a right, it heads above the sacrifice room, and eventually takes a left to the original entrance to this cave, so that it actually blocked the water from flowing into the original entrance. So it had to go further down and come in the entrance that we came in. My best guesstimation for how old this is, it is at least 280,000 years old. We also have one of the oldest spots in our cave, right where we are right now. This little hollow tube, this is what the cave started out as. All this cave was these little hollow phreatic tubes. Everything we're sitting in right now started out as one of those. Wow! There's a lot of water flowing over top this calcite. Calcite is formed by flowing water with calcium in it. So it needs that flowing water for it to keep growing. As you can see here, this is still growing calcite because it is still wet. Meanwhile, on this side, all of this that's kind of dried out, that's no longer growing because that's not wet anymore. So to my left here, we have what we call the recovery wall. We call it the recovery wall because it is currently recovering. We became a provincial park in 1980. We put up the gates to protect the caves. Someone didn't like that. They came into the park with bolt cutters, spray paint, and a sledgehammer. They cut the lock to our gate, they came down here, they spray painted a bunch of the walls and smashed a bunch of the calcite. We never caught them, we never found out what happened to them, we don't know. Luckily, this calcite is still healing itself. A lot of the calcite won't. That spray paint will be there forever. Meanwhile, this one, as it has the water flowing over it, more and more calcite crystals are building up over top of that spray paint. So after enough time, that spray paint is going to be completely covered. Right here, we have a little baby stalagmite. As the water drips from above off that little tiny stalactite up there, it's currently cleaning off the rock, but soon enough, it'll start making its way up higher and higher. I say soon, but that'll be a couple thousand years from now. Now, after enough time, a couple 100,000 years from now, that stalactite and stalagmite are going to grow enough that they will meet. They will become one thing when they connect in the middle. You know what we call them when they meet? We call them a column.
A column?
Yeah. Those are 2 quartz crystals I am rubbing together. Quartz is triboluminescent. As you rub them together, the molecular bonds are being sheared. It creates light. It creates the smell of burnt hair, but there is no heat and no spark emitted from this. I can do this underwater. Alright, if you want to turn back on your lights. Ugh. Does not smell pleasant. Yeah, anything quartz-based is triboluminescent. So anything that is made of quartz will create that light. Clear quartz. Let me grab the rest of my pocket rocks. Amethyst. Amethyst is quartz with iron molecules in it, dyeing it purple. This is the exact same thing as that, just with iron in it. Citrine. Citrine is iron oxidized amethyst. As the iron molecules amethyst start to rust and iron oxidize, it'll turn that purple color a nice yellow. It'll also take that kind of grayish white and turn it a nice bright white color. This also creates the triboluminescent light. There is an in-between. There's amethyst, ametrine, citrine. I don't have any ametrine, but it is very pretty to look at. It's a purple base color with a yellow top. Very nice to look at. I also have smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is quartz with silica inside of it, dyeing it black. This also creates that light. Rose quartz. I don't have any rose quartz. I believe rose quartz, and don't quote me on this one, but I believe it is rose quartz with gold inside of it, which dyes it that kind of pinkish color. I use the clear quartz to demonstrate triboluminescent because it does light up better than these three. It is limestone. This big rock wall is made out of limestone. Our limestone is a sedimentary rock. It is a water-soluble rock, and it is a fossiliferous rock. What do these mean? Well, sedimentary, it's made out of sediments. More specifically, bones, corals, and shells of ancient dead sea creatures on the bottom of the ocean floor, or condensed down by ocean pressure till you get this big old calcium-rich rock right behind me. It's water-soluble, so it actually dissolves in fresh water. And we have a lot of fresh water. It comes down in rain, rivers, streams, goes into our soil and picks up tons of carbon. That carbon then becomes carbonic acid, which is 10 times more acidic than regular fresh water. It flows into the cracks in our rock, creating these little baby caves we know as phreatic tubes. On our way up, feel free to stick your hand in the hole. Be careful, you never know what's gonna shake your hand. Karst landscape is any landscape made of mostly water-soluble rock. For us that's limestone, but that could be gypsum, dolomite. I'm pretty sure bedrock's one of them, and a couple others. Okay, so what you're gonna do on your way in. Let's get headed further in, being very careful not to touch the bright wall as you go. Heading through this next bit, we need to be very careful. It's going to be very close to the calcite. So just remember, the right wall is calcite, the left wall is okay. So if you need to lean on anything, lean on the left wall. Alright, let's get headed. Till it came loose, did a 180 and is now right here upside down. So, I'm going to call you up. You're going to climb up this first waterfall. Then there's a flat spot. You're going to go under my legs. It'll make more sense when you're up there. And you're going to climb up that second waterfall. Then there's a flat spot. Then you're going to head back as much as you can. Just keep walking forward until you can't walk forward anymore. Then you're going to climb a third time. There's a little bit of calcite there. Don't worry, you can touch that calcite. Your safety over that calcite. Just wait for me to call you up. Come on up. Welcome to the boulder room. We call it the boulder room because this big old boulder right here. This used to be up here on the wall till it came loose, did a 180 and is now right here upside down. Okay. So we have come across the cave tray. You can get across the cave tray any way that is comfortable and safe for you and safe for the cave. So that could be hands and knees, crab walk, butt scooch, bear crawl. As long as you feel comfortable and safe. Do not touch the right wall, as the right wall is going to be calcite. The left wall is still fine, so you can still brush up against the left wall. Once you get fully off the tray, both feet off of the tray at the same time, then you can touch the right wall on the other side, okay? All right, let's get headed across. I'd have to have climbed down the waterfall, head back over the tray, climbed up the ladder, and then climbed up the slide again. The cave slide fun little contraption here. This is Canada's most dangerous cave slide. It's also Canada's safest cave slide. So, you're gonna head down the cave slide on your back, keeping your head nice and low. Because right down there, we have faceplant rock. Not fun to come in contact with faceplant rock. Once you drop off the slide, you're gonna drop onto that metal tray down there. You will then scoot yourself forward, keeping your head nice and low. Behind faceplant rock 2.0. Not much of an improvement. This is gonna be like the waterfall. I'm gonna go down first, call you guys down one at a time. I'm gonna say, come on down, and one of you is gonna slide. Then come on down, and another. Don't worry about going too fast. I throw myself down this thing every time. I've never managed to throw myself over the edge. I try every time though. All right, kids.
And they control the speed with their hands from the side, or?
Yeah, honestly, you're not gonna go that fast down here.
Okay.
You probably won't even have to. All right, let's get it. You don't need to keep yourself quite that low. And then from there, I'll tell you what's gonna happen.
Lie down.
We're right down here. It's not very far.
Just keep your head like touching the slide. You don't want to hit faceplant rocks.
There we go, you're almost there. Remember, when you're on the tray, the right wall is calcite, so be very aware of that. All right, I'll get you guys heading down. Once you're on the tray, just stay on the tray. We're just gonna get you all sitting on it.
See? Not that bad, is that? So you turn around on that step. Yep. And then you slowly step back. Yeah, that's a good spot to stand.
We're gonna head out, and then I'm gonna bring you back to the V-seat.
Okay.
But all in all, I think you guys did fantastic.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna head out. We headed in with our right shoulder first. We're gonna head out with our left shoulder first.
Left shoulders.
I hope you enjoyed the cave adventure. Bye, guys!